There's mummy skeletons knocking doors and having fun. Pumpkin lanterns light the way for the monster spooky play. Trick or treat, give us something sweet.
Hello my friends, and welcome back to my channel where I talk about books and bookish things and bonkers things and anything that really comes into my head. So, just in case anybody doesn't know, if you've been living under a rock on YouTube or BookTube, Kelsi at Slime and Slashers and several other co-hosts are going to be doing the Halloween-A-Thon from the 22nd of September through to the end of October. I've actually started mine at the beginning of September because there's complete flexibility in this, which is wonderful. You can do as much or as little as you want. You can just read books, just watch movies, just do Halloween-y activities, or all three, whatever you want to do. There's loads of resources online, free printables, and yeah. So this is what I am going to be doing. If you want to find out any more details about this, go and watch Kelsi's on Slime and Slashers video about Halloween-A-Thon. I even bought a t-shirt. It's very orange, isn't it? Because officially, I'm an official pumpkin head. So orange is suitable, is it not? Although I did forget it was American sizing. And so it's a little bit big, but it's fine because I can wear it in bed. Even better, right? So anyway, let's get on. So firstly, I did my game boards, and these are all free to print. They're on Google Docs, I think. First of all, I printed a list. So I wanted to list all the books. Now, I am not doing activities. I'm doing books and movies, and more books than movies because, obviously, I'm a bookish person. So I made a list of all my books I wanted to read in September and October. Definitely. That's be 25 of them because there are 25 boxes on the bingo card. There you go. So, yeah, so I've used some of the prompts that the co-hosts and the Monster Squad came up with and some of my own. So, a cover with blood dripping, a cover with a creature, a cover with claws, a cover with weapons, a cover with a demon. And so, yeah, and they're all listed there and all the books that correspond to it. On the back of here, I've done movies. So, these are all the movies that I would usually watch. Get my words out, Shaz. This time of year, actually all year. So, In the Mouth of Madness, which is one of my absolute favourites. Horror movies, I love that. And I always watch The Mummy. Actually, Tales Point Horror Book Club, which I'm also part of, which I absolutely love. They're doing a double feature this month. They're also going to be watching The Mummy. It's one of my all-time favourite comfort films. And so, yeah, so those are my list of movies and those are my list of books. And what I've done is basically printed off the game board, which is this. Isn't it beautiful? I mean, look at the detail in this. It's gorgeous, isn't it? I've coloured it in just because, I mean, why not? So orange is books and pink is movies. And yeah, so basically I just throw a dice and see where it lands. And what I've done is on the back, I've broken everything down. So I haven't allocated books to each section because I wanted to be able to have a little bit of a freedom about what I picked up and read. I always used to have a very set TBR, and then I would throw the books in during the month. And I read probably between 15 and 25 books a month, dependent. It's been around 15 the last few months just because I've not been in the mental headspace for it since I lost my husband. But, yeah, so I thought 25 books is it. 25 books I can do in a month. So I'm going to try and spread it out and put the books in between, if you know what I mean. And I wanted to be free to do that. So I've numbered it like 1 to 4, TBR, or if it's a movie, what movie. So that's how I've done it. I know other people will have done it differently. I've also put loads of stickers. The work that has gone into this, honestly, is incredible. Thank you so much, Kelsi, and everybody else who helped, I'm sure, but I'm sure she did most of it, and it's just absolutely fabulous. Can't wait. So that's my game boards, my bingo cards. And then I treated myself to a new set of dice. Now, I couldn't just have normal dice because, I mean, that's boring, isn't it? Oops, I've dropped one on the floor. Dropped one on the floor already. So I got myself a set of Dungeons and Dragons dice, which is lovely. I love playing Dungeons and Dragons anyway. So I'll probably just use the normal dice that's in there. But it's just such a pretty set, isn't it? Look at it. I'll put it a bit closer. It's like pink and blue and it's so pretty. So yeah, all comes in a handy little baggo. See if I can get them in there without dropping them everywhere, shall we? I mean, but anyway, so here, quick fire, is the 25 books that are on my Halloween-A-Thon TBR. Firstly, the double whammy for Tales Point Horror Book Club. Every year in September, new start of the year, they read A Nightmare Hall, and Shelley, who runs Tales Point Horror, and Dustin from Dustin Can Read, they do it together, and it is hysterical. I haven't read either of these books. I don't, Point Horror, I've got to remember, I was a teenager and young adult in the 80s. So the 90s, I was a full-grown adult, and it was far too much fun to be reading. So I missed all of these. Point Horror, Goosebumps, all of that. So I'm loving it as an adult, and I love finding these. These are all vintage copies, and I hunt them down on eBay or secondhand bookshops or wherever. Don't know anything about them. I don't tend to read the synopsis of things unless I have to. I like to go in blind. So I suspect these are fun, and I believe, I'm sure Justin said to me that Nightmare Hall is the university that's set on Fear Street. I haven't read any Fear Street, so... But yeah, I read one of these last year. We did one in September last year called Deadly Attraction, which was great. So that is Point Horror, Tales Point Horror, September, double whammy, plus the mummy. Oh! So that's that one. This one is a middle grade book about a girl who is a foster child, and she moves to a foster home in Yorkshire, and she befriends a pit pony. This is middle grade by J.P. Rose, who wrote the wonderful Haunting of Tyrese Walker. She's actually become a really good friend online, and she's been wonderful since I lost my husband. She's been in contact regularly, like a lot of people in the book community, and so she sent me a signed ARC for that. I rarely get, I rarely even ask for a physical ARC. I always ask for e-ARCs, and so yeah, so that was really kind of her to send that. So that's middle grade, so I'm looking forward to that. It's supposed to be really heartwarming, and about, like, if you're an animal lover, you're gonna love it, you know. Then we've got non-fiction, Demonic Foes, which is a psychiatrist talking about whether possession is real, and case studies along with it. This looks really, really good. I believe this man is American. He did study psychiatry at Yale, and he lives in New York. So it's supposed to be really good. So I've heard good things about it. And just so you know, I have a PhD in criminal psychology, and so this is really interesting. So I'm looking at that. Then I've got to finish this book. I've started it twice. How to Make a Horror Movie and Survive. Oh, I've got a really good bookmark, by the way. It's coming for you, you know. Which I've started, and I was really enjoying it. And I just put it down and just, you know, I just never picked it up again last month. So I need to finish that. Craig DeLuey. I love his books. Suffer the Children, I think, is my favourite. Although I actually loved everything I've read of his, really. He's such a good writer. So, yeah, so I'm going to read that. And then I've got a couple more middle grade books. Shelley at Point Horror had as one of her guests Lorian Lawrence, who's a middle grade author from the States. And she's written 2 books. I think there's 3, but I've only managed to get 2, called Firewatch, The Collectors and the Stitchers. I think that one's the first one. And then that one's the second one. I don't know anything about them, but they are middle grade, so that'll be nice and creepy and lovely. So, and if I love them, I'll pass them on to my nephew who's 13. He gets all of my books. the books are suitable for him because I do read extreme horror. So yeah, that looks good, and she's just such a lovely woman, so I was happy to support her, so I've got both of those. And then while we're looking at middle grade, excuse me a second, I'll just grab these two. So I've got Things That Go Bump by Catherine Foxfield. Catherine is more known as a YA author. This is her first foray into middle grade, and I'm really looking forward to this. This is supposed to be a spooky adventure with monsters and mayhem, but look at that fantastic cover. So if the light's reflecting off, isn't that wonderful? So I'm looking forward to that. So that's another middle grade. Traditionally published 13 stories, which is, I believe, 13 stories. Set in a like a high rise in a penthouse in a development. I don't really know a lot about it. An ultra modern take on the haunted house story. So that looks good, doesn't it? I do love a short story collection. So and also, although it was bashed to death by Amazon, what Amazon like recently? I don't know if you lot have had a lot of problems, but I've had quite a few books become damaged, which is really unusual. A couple of weeks ago, on the 24th of August, it was the inaugural indie horror chapter. Oh. And the first one was in Birmingham, and it was a fantastic success. And I got to meet a lot of readers and authors that I've been friends with online for 2 years. I've never been hugged and kissed and loved so much in my entire life. It was wonderful. And I bought 40 books because, I mean, why not, right? Indie horror is my passion, as you all know, and I absolutely love indie horror and indie horror authors. So the majority of what I'm going to read next, I think this one, actually, let's just throw this one in. I think this is traditionally published. This is 10, this is a slasher by Gretchen McNeil. And this was sent to me by my stepson for Mother's Day. Because he knows me so well. Let's send her a horror. But anyway, the rest of them are all indie horror, and all books that I got from the indie horror chapter. So firstly, we've got Maple Falls Massacre 1 and Maple Falls Massacre 2 by Daniel J. Barnes. I love Dan. He actually lives literally 5-10 minutes away from my family. All of these are signed, by the way, because obviously I met the authors. And so yes, I've got both of those to read, and this is a place where loads of people go missing, and yeah, so that's I don't know if it's a duology or it's going to be a trilogy, but yeah, I'm going to look forward to reading both of those. So that's that. And then I met Jim Oddie, who actually he's been actually, all of these people have been wonderful since I lost my husband. They've all stayed in touch. I mean, my house was like into flora for the first few weeks. There's so many flowers and books and presents. It was, you know, book people, the book community, as well as obviously my family and friends they were just remarkable, really. It was humbling how kind people were. But Jim Oddie's absolute darling, and so I bought quite a few of his. This is Camp Death, which is obviously a camp slasher in a camp. We love that. I also got another one. Have I got another one of his? That's the one I'm reading in this lot, but I bought about 5 of his books. And then I'm going to be reading Butchered by Matthew A. Clark. Matthew is probably most famous for writing Incel, if you've read that. And this is about, you know, being butchered. That cow don't look happy. But anyway, I don't think there's any animal. It's not about animals at all, I don't think. It's set on a farm, but I don't think any animals are armed. I don't think so. It's just they're set on a farm. But anyway, and then I've got UFO of the Dead by Killian H. Gore, another author that was at the indie horror chapter. This is obviously sci-fi horror. I don't want to read the back, so I don't want to spoil it, but isn't that a wonderful cover? So that's that one. And I've got another one of his, The Horror Movie Massacre. I mean, I'm sure that does what it says on the tin. Do you know what I mean? Also by Killian. Really looking forward to that. Then we've got A Cosmic Horror by D. McCluskey. You met D. Oh, he's such a sweet man. He's so funny. Him and Pete Caffrey actually joined me for breakfast the next morning because the rest of them were too hungover, I think. So, I don't drink. So, yeah, so that's good, isn't it? Reboot, A Cosmic Horror. I'm looking forward to reading that. I love A Cosmic Horror. To Sharon, let's hope this book turns you on in the best possible way. Such a sweet man. So yeah, that's that. Oops, I'm in our room. And this is one that actually got in the Abominable Book Club, and this is also short stories, All Who Wander Are Lost, which is Destination Horror Stories. Tiny writing, blimey. But yeah, so the short story ones, if I land on one of them, I'll probably throw again and then just pick up these every now and then because I like to have a short story collection along with a main read. So that's that. And then I've got 2 by T.C. Parker. I also met T.C. and her partner Shauna at Indie Horror Book Club. Hummingbird. Oh, look at the cover of this, man. How beautiful is this? I can't wait to read it. I can't wait to read it. It's beautiful. Look at it. Everybody's been raving about this, so I'm really looking forward to it. I've also got a short little novella called To Coventry, which they told me today was a cross between Miss Marple, Discworld, with lots of horrible people getting done in. As I want to be Miss Marple when I grow up. And Discworld is my favourite fantasy series of all time. I'm looking forward to that. It's only a little novella. And then I've got a few Kindles, which I'm going to have to get my list out. So I'll fling them up here. So we've got Baby Monsters. Now, this is by S.A. Lunamere, and last year, S.A., who lives in LA, she sent me a physical copy of a debut, which is called Travelling Monsters. This is the second in the series, which I absolutely loved. It's about the world of monsters, the other world, the parallel world, running alongside the modern world and sneaking into ours, and certain people can see them and certain people can't. It's really, really good. It's got, obviously, monsters, fae. There's a baby kraken. Oh, it's just the most... If you really loved Legends and Lattes, that kind of cozy horror, you'll love this. The troll who's in it is called Donya. I love her to bits. So I can't wait to get... I actually just started reading this again and I'm really loving it. So that's that one. And then we've got Camp 1985, which I'm assuming is a slasher. But great cover again, looks like a VHS cover. It's beautiful, isn't it? Levitating by Gage Greenwood. This is his new collection of short stories. All of these are on KU, by the way. So yeah, so I should be reading that. I love Gage's writing, so that's going to be fun. And then Soul Searchers by Justin Boot. I should be reading this. It's about people who can see the souls of people, I guess, and they go searching them out. I don't know. I haven't really looked, but it looks good. Great cover. The Footage, which is a haunted house, found footage horror. So I'm looking forward to that one as well. I like the cover of that one too. And I also need to say that the majority of the indie horror ones that I've got are also on KU. So although I've bought the book, I'll probably read them on KU so that the author gets the money for the pages too. So that's what I usually do, so I can read quicker on my Kindle. So yeah, so that's me set up. Halloween-A-Thon. Bring it on, my friends. But yeah, as I say, if you want to know anything about it, or all the details or links to all of the documents, there's loads of them. There's also loads of prompts and stuff that you can print off. I've put these between 2 boards so they're a bit more, more stable. But there's also prompts you can print off for each of the co-hosts, and activities for you to do, and especially if you've got kiddies and stuff like that. So it's all on Kelsi's YouTube channel at Simon Slashers. I'll link it below. If I can, I'll link the video. I don't know how to do that, but I'll give it a go. But yes, I'm really looking forward to it. I had planned earlier in the year to do a big thing myself, Halloween, but that's kind of gone by the by at the moment. So you know, it's nice to be able to kind of hook into this and do this, and it's just been such fun setting everything up. I've really had a great time, so looking forward to it. But anyway, my friends, that's me, Halloween-A-Thon. I started mine on the 1st of September, but majority of people are starting on the 22nd, but it's very flexible. She's made it so that you can do as much or as little as you want. Do you know what I mean? And there's going to be reading sprints, I think, and watch-alongs, I think. I love the reading sprints. When she did Old School April, and I kind of hooked into that quite late. I didn't know it was on. I loved it because obviously I think she's in New Orleans, I think. Or she's certainly in the States, in the US. And so the reading sprints tend to be like late at night for me, so I found it really comforting when I couldn't sleep. When I first lost my husband earlier in the year, I lost him in March. I just used to put it on by the side of my bed and listen. It kept me company, so I'm very grateful for that. So I'm looking forward to that. But anyway, my darlings, hope you're all well. Hope you're keeping well. Hope you're looking forward to spooky season. And I will be back soon. And remember, my loves, stay warm, stay hydrated, keep reading fantastic books. I love you all. Bye.
Vampires, mummies, skeletons, knocking doors and having fun. Pumpkin lanterns light the way for the monster spooky play. Trick or treat.